Hello everybody, welcome back again to episode 15 of How to Survive Living with an Alcoholic. And in this video I wanted to talk to you about those of you who have got to the point of having the am I going to stay or am I going to go conversation, as I covered in episode 14. And I said that in this video I would talk about those of you who actually are feeling quite frightened about the idea of making that decision, and not just frightened about an uncertain future, but actually frightened of what kind of a reaction you're going to get from your partner. Now, before I carry on, you'll see I'm actually on holiday in Mallorca. You probably all know where Mallorca is, but for those of you who don't, it's an island off the coast of Spain, and I'm here on holiday with my husband. We've been having a nice time, but I've been writing some articles and making some videos and doing stuff. And because this is quite an important video, this one, for those of you who are in a scary kind of situation, I thought I would carry on and make the video while I'm on holiday. You know, I'm quite happy to do that. I'll just get comfortable here before I go home. So anyway, I've got some notes here. Look, if you have identified any of the red flags that I flagged up to you in episode 13, then it really is important that you have a plan for leaving, and it may be even that you don't you don't have that conversation in episode 14, because it may not be safe for you to do that, because if your partner is on the narcissistic end of the spectrum, then he could become quite dangerous. It really is important for you to understand that the most vulnerable time for women is when they are leaving a relationship. And I know that, you know, those of you for whom this video is relevant, you'll already be living with constant anxiety and tension and fear. And so I actually don't want to make you more frightened or cause you to be more frightened, but it is important that you know what you're dealing with, and that you don't just go at this in an ad hoc kind of a way. So here's the plan, what you need to do. You know, even if your partner's never been violent with you, often, you know, in the news we hear of partners who actually kill their wives and sometimes their children as well, because they are just so angry that they've left. So it's important that you have a proper plan. So first of all, what you need to do is decide if it's that bad for you, and you know, it probably has been that bad for a good long while now, and you just continue to be more ground down and more exhausted and more frightened, and it probably won't get any better or easier. You keep hoping it will, but it doesn't. So what you need to do is, first of all, get some copies of all of your important documents. You know, that means your birth certificate, your marriage certificate if you've got one, your passports, your bank documents, any tenancy agreements or mortgage agreements, any health insurance or other insurances that you need. Certainly all your bank documents and cards, but get copies of all of your important documents and all the children's documents as well, and create a folder of copies of all those documents. Actually take the originals if you can, but just make sure you've got copies. That's the main thing. Get some keys, spare keys, a spare set of keys. Get a spare mobile phone that nobody's got the number to except maybe one very trusted friend, but be very, very selective about giving that number to anybody. But in that phone, that spare phone, put in the numbers of all the important people, the people like your solicitor, your therapist, your GP, the children's schools, and really people that you may need to contact, but not using your regular phone, because your partner can track you from that phone. And so really you really need to be leaving that phone somewhere that you're not going, so that you can't be tracked by it. The other thing is, you might want to check that your car's not got a tracker on it as well, because often the kind of partner that I'm talking about now is the sort who does stalk and may have a tracker on your car. Also, any searches that you've been doing on a computer, make sure that you clear your searches. Any jotting down of numbers from phone calls, make sure you don't leave any odd notes around in the waste paper bin. Just make sure you don't leave any clues before you go. So spare set of keys, spare mobile, have a bag with a change of clothing that you can pick up if you have to go out suddenly, with any spare medicines, any medication that you take, and maybe some toys for the children and spare clothes for the children, something warm should you be somewhere where the weather's cool. Have all those things. The documents and the keys and some spare money are better stored outside of your house, maybe by a garage or in some place that's not easily found or where they won't get wet, but somewhere outside the house, maybe in a polythene bag, that you can access them easily. Arrange a code word with a friend. Now, you do really need to be very careful who you let know what your plan is, because we all know that these kind of partners can be very charming, very persuasive. They can break down and cry and say they're so worried about the children, they're heartbroken, and they can really pull on people's heartstrings. So family members and friends who are likely to be influenced by him, don't give them the information. Really what you need to do is speak to your local domestic abuse agency, or Women's Aid, a therapist if you have access to one. Build a support network of professionals around you. Now, sadly, some professionals are not very informed about the dynamics of domestic abuse. One would hope that they would be, but sadly they aren't always very informed, and they do give in to the charms of these narcissistic kind of individuals. So, be a bit selective about which professionals you tell as well, but you do need a support network around you. So if your family, if you know that your family are reliable and that they will support you in leaving, then by all means go to your family or a very, very close friend, but somewhere away from where you can be got at easily. The best way forward, once you do get away, is to adopt a policy of no contact. That's no contact at all. When you get these kind of moments of feeling sorry for him and thinking, oh, I'll just text him and ask him if he's all right. Any contact, you can finish up being tracked. So really, you need to be planning for what you're going to do with your life after you totally get free. So I think I've covered most of the points. I don't want to make this too long, this video. In the next video, episode 16, I will talk about coercive control. Thankfully, certainly in the UK recently, coercive control has now been made criminal, and more professionals, but not enough, I don't think, more and more professionals are now able to recognise the hallmarks of coercive control, and it is a criminal offence, and people can be brought to court for it. But I'll say more about that in the next video. So I hope you find that helpful. If you have, please click like. Please leave your comments below. If there's anything that I haven't covered, please say so, and I'll cover it in the next video. So, bye for now.